Well, hello, and how are you? I'm doing fine, and this is Coffee Talk with me, Paula Gigi. I don't have a coffee right now. I just got it done loading up the Bible study from this morning, and now I just feel like I need to share. It's been just about 5 weeks since I started on duck eggs, and so I wanted to share today Carnivore, duck eggs, and me, part two, to just let you know what's been going on in my life. And first of all, I'm going to say I really enjoy the duck eggs. I mean, instead of putting 3 eggs in my coffee now in the morning, I can just put the one duck egg and get the same benefit. And it doesn't taste any different than it did before, and I enjoy it. I also like the fact that the place I go is just practically next door to me, and that makes it convenient. I have to say, though, that the last 2 weeks have been a little disappointing. I haven't gotten any duck eggs. She has other people, of course, who likes to buy duck eggs, and for some reason, I guess I'm timing it wrong. I just haven't been able to get any, and so I need to find another place to get some duck eggs. But I like the duck eggs. That's why I get on, because I wanted to tell you what I think I've noticed since I've been on duck eggs. Of course, I've been on Carnivore. I'm going into my 3rd year now, and I know that all my life, and I mean all my life, I've had digestive problems. My mother said ever since the time I could talk, I always complained about my stomach, and I did. And a lot of times in school, the nurses would just let me go lay down and relax because of my stomach. But anyways, after I started doing the duck eggs, it was only about 3 or 4 days in, and I, again, had been having bouts of diarrhea. Like I said before, I had IBSD over the last 20 years. It's been bad, and I had lost a lot of weight. But anyways, it had stopped for a while with mushroom coffee and a couple other things that I did. And I'd say something about it, and then it seemed like only just a few weeks later, a month at the most, it would start up again. So I wanted to wait on the duck eggs before I said anything about it, and it has been, like I said, 5 weeks. And what I've noticed is, like I said, about 4 days in, on the duck eggs, I started noticing the bowel movement improving. And I thought, okay, good. And I didn't say anything to anybody, because I'm the type person, when something starts happening, you don't tell anybody about it. You let it take its chance. And then if it works, then you tell people about it. So I let it work through its stage, and I was just getting perfect when I stopped getting duck eggs. And that kind of worried me, because I thought, wow, I just got myself regular. And it could be also the fact that I've been on keto a little longer, and as you get into the keto more, things straighten out more. The bowel movements, if you have the stomach issues like I do, from what I've heard from most people, basically will change, stop, and then you won't have but maybe one bowel movement a week once you get it all leveled out. So I'm waiting for that point, leveled out. I would love to get to that point, leveled out. But anyways, so, and as far as Carnivore, I am sticking very strict to it. There's one girl I listen to, and many of you will know of her, Steak and Butter Gal. I was listening to her the other night, and there was something that she said that sparked my interest. I mean, I've been eating butter. Usually, that's the first thing I put in my coffee in the morning, is a tablespoon of butter with my egg and my turmeric and my cayenne pepper and my duck shells. But anyways, she said that she found that the best way for her to handle butter was to eat it like, cold, right out of the fridge. And so I thought, well, that could be my problem. I mean, I know my body has problems digesting the fat, and I have upped my fat intake. I actually take in about 60 to 75% of my diet is now fat. And so I thought, well, maybe I need to try that trick. Just go the other way with the butter. And I started doing that, and I found that it has helped, so I think I'll stick with that. And anyways, I do every day religiously, I do an 8-ounce hamburger in the morning for breakfast after I've had my coffee. My coffee is around 7-ish, and then later in the morning when my hubby is up and about, then we have breakfast, and I have my 8-ounce hamburger, medium to medium rare, in that vicinity. And it sets about 20 minutes in my dish before I sit down to eat it, which I've also found has been more helpful. And so I'm still doing that. At nighttime, if I don't eat all my hamburger in the morning, which sometimes I don't, sometimes I have 2 or 3 ounces left over, then I will take that 2 or 3 ounces left over, scramble an egg, throw it into the egg, and then eat that for my supper. If I eat all my egg and I'm hungry, then I might have, if my husband has chicken or fish or whatever, I might have a small portion, 2 to 3 ounces, if I'm hungry. If I'm not hungry, then I was just having a duck egg if I felt like having a little snack with him while he was eating. So basically that's all I've been eating over the past few weeks because I'm not as hungry. I'm more satisfied with this diet, and I like the fact that I can have my grass-fed beef because it's not expensive as a lot of diets I have been on. And like I said, my husband is keto-ish, and so he's basically keto, but we break it once in a while because it gets boring for him. And so I do give him a break about once a week or once a month, give him something as a treat. But if he stays with that makes me happy because it's still way healthier than what he was eating before. And the other thing is, I found out about the duck eggs. I usually get pretty good sleep, not marvelous, but pretty good sleep. But once I got the duck eggs into my system, I had been sleeping between 6.5 to 7.5 hours regularly, which that hardly ever happens for me. If I happen to get 5.5 or 6 hours, I feel like I've really done well. So to be able to get 6.5 to 7 is a good change, and I enjoyed that. Plus, I also found out that I didn't wake up as much during the night. I do a lot of tossing and turning sometimes, not all the time, but when I was doing the duck eggs, it was kind of like it was it was like I had more power to sleep or whatever you want to call it. And so that was another change. I'm trying to think if there was something else. It seems like there was something else. I got on here kind of randomly today because right now the house is quiet, hubby's out, I don't have to worry about anybody coming and going, and I thought this would be a good time to do my video. I've been feeling really good. I think my color has been looking good. My skin has been looking much better. Even my hands, the black and blues and the bruises that I used to get so much, not so much anymore. I told my daughter what I'm excited about seeing is to see the change in my nails, because my nails were getting so they would split, peel, crack, break, everything would make them, they were so soft that they were always rough and catching on stuff. But I've noticed that they're starting to get a little harder, but I'm not going to say anything much more about it until I find out if it is the duck eggs that's doing it. Because really, by rights, from what I've read, the duck eggs should do it. It should also help my hair so that I'm not losing as much, and so I'm waiting on that. As many of you know, since I went carnivore, I was white, pure white, beautiful white, before I started carnivore. But after I started carnivore, and you can see it on the sides, I started getting more gray in my hair, less white, which is fine because this is staying basically white up here, and I like that. I like my white, but the gray kind of gives me a little bit of, if you would, pizzazz, a little bit more color, and so I was kind of happy with that. Another plus of my carnivore diet, remember I was vegetarian for 8 years. I really exhausted myself on that. I didn't realize how much until I started doing this carnivore diet. I barely could have enough energy to do a lot of things when I was vegetarian. I pushed myself a lot to do a lot, but it wasn't that I had the energy to do it. I was always hungry, always looking for something to eat on the vegetarian diet. But the carnivore diet, like I said, when I eat that 8-ounce hamburger in the morning, that and have my coffee with my duck egg in it, that's really my whole meal for the day, and it's very nutritious, very healthy, very good for me. And so I thought, let me get on and share that with you because I love sharing the good things. And also now I've found that I can actually drink regular coffee. I don't have to have the mushroom coffee anymore because it stopped working with the IBS-D problem after a while. It worked for a while, but then it started acting up again. I don't know why. But anyway, so I don't do the mushroom coffee anymore. I am doing regular coffee, and it's not bothering me. I have not added chocolate back in because I found that whenever I had chocolate, I would usually have a spell of the IBS-D. And so I kind of avoid the chocolate right now, although I do miss chocolate hazelnut coffee. And every once in a while, when I visit with my daughter and my son, they will have that, and I'll have it with them if my body's been pretty good to me all week. And so anyways, that's all I can think of. I'm hoping I start getting duck eggs soon. I called my girl and I said, look, if you're not going to have duck eggs for me, please call and let me know because I need to go find a place where I can get some duck eggs because I really love those duck eggs now after she got me started on those, and I thought I had a good way to get them on a regular basis, which I was for a while. And then all of a sudden she put the brakes on and she's like, I have other customers, and I'm like, I understand, but it seems like she could sneak me a half a dozen here and there. But anyways, that's up to her, and things are going to work out. And maybe, just maybe, I'll find somebody else in the area that has duck eggs, and I can go to them and start getting duck eggs, on a regular basis. Sorry, I talk fast because I've told you before, I have trouble, especially with the lower denture. I have to hold it in while I talk. It's not always easy to do, and I notice that my words are not quite as clear because I'm talking too fast, and I'm trying to keep those in place. So forgive me if you have a hard time hearing me, listening to me, that's why, and I'll try to remember to slow down and talk slower. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Leave me a message or a comment and tell me where you get your duck eggs. I mean, do you get them from a local? This girl's local, and she has hens and ducks, and mostly hens, just a very few ducks. I think she said she has 8 ducks or something like that. And I haven't been able to find anybody yet around me. I've been online searching, couldn't find them. There is an Oriental market not far from here, and my son suggested that I go up there because they have duck eggs, and I thought, well, I might, but I really don't like buying eggs in a store because I don't know where they're coming from. If I knew that they were organic or well taken care of, I probably would go there, but that's a long ways to go for eggs, and I'd have to get them all a 1 month's supply when I went there, because I couldn't make the trip every week. It would be too expensive. Anyways, that's my thought for today on my duck eggs, carnivore, and me. And tell me if you've noticed any changes in me, because I find that other people see the changes in you more readily than you do yourself. And like I said, I can't get over the gray that is showing up in my hair. It's actually giving my hair some, I don't know, fullness, or it looks fuller, it looks healthier, it feels great. And so anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. Visit often. I have lots of videos to see, Bible message, Bible studies, random stories, my Love Me journey, random shares that I just randomly get on and share, castor oil, and so on. So pay me a visit to all of them. Leave me comments, and thank you to those that are faithful at doing that, because I love getting comments. If you have questions, don't feel be afraid to ask me. I may not have the answer. If I have an answer, I'll share it. If I don't, then I'll let you know. But anyways, have a wonderful day. It's been great visiting with you. Thank you for stopping by, and come by often. Be blessed in the name of Jesus. We appreciate you, Brother Mac and I, and thank you for everything in visiting us in our videos. Help us to boost over that 3,700 mark. We want to see those numbers keep going up. We're almost there. Help us to get there. We love you all. Share our videos, tell others about us, and share yourselves with us that we can know you as well as you are getting to know us. Thanks to you. Have a good day. Bye-bye now.